Alan Cox Show
on 100.7 WMMS.
$35192. Want to send a text. AlanCoxShow.com. Want to watch live. Tom Green is going to join us a little bit later on. He's doing a handful of sold-out shows at Hilarities this weekend. Haven't caught up with him in a minute. Our buddy Don Jameson is going to be in here tomorrow. He is doing the weekend at the Funny Stop in Cuyahoga Falls. How about those Guardians?
Take that, crap sacks.
They end up taking 2 of 3 against the White Sox. White Sox blow a lead last night, and they get walked off. 7-6 was the final. Chicago will slink back to the friendly confines of Guaranteed Rate Field, and the Guardians will host the Yankees tomorrow night and Saturday night. You'll hear all of it here on MMS and on the iHeartRadio app. Big story, of course, out of that game is the Naylor brothers hitting home runs in the same inning. The Naylor on National Siblings Day. Do you ever do posts like that? I know some people think they're lame, but, I don't live near my family, and I haven't for a long, long time. Been on the road doing this radio thing.
I just tagged all my siblings in that post about the Naylor brothers hitting home runs, and I was like, none of you losers hit home runs today.
Now, do you know that for sure?
Yes.
Okay. You're able to confirm that individually with them?
Mm-hmm.
National Siblings Day. Yeah, sometimes I'll have post a little photo. Didn't do that yesterday. Not like they probably even noticed. If anybody was going to do that, it would be me. I imagine Mary made some big post.
She did not. My older sister's good for that. My older sister will usually do like a Happy Sister's Day or Brother's Day or Siblings Day. She's always posting about the fam.
So she's taking care of that end of it.
Yes.
Yeah. Naylor brothers hitting home runs, both in the 4th. Against the White Sox.
Chicago. There's a high drive, deep center field. It's not coming back all the way into the bullpen. Josh Naylor with his 2nd home run in as many games. Number 3 on the year, and it gets the Guardians on the board. It's the 3rd home run allowed by Fatty. This is his 19th extra base hit.
Did you call him Fatty? What did he call him? That sounded like he called him Big
Fatty, yeah.
Big Fatty. Is that what he called him?
Maybe.
That's not very nice, boy.
What was the pitcher's name?
By Fatty. This is his 19th extra base hit.
He called him Big Fatty.
It's the 3rd home run allowed by Fatty.
No, of course, that's the White Sox pitcher that allowed that home run to happen.
And this is
certainly shouldn't call
against the White Sox.
Anybody Big Fatty. They have body positivity down there on the field.
Center field deep. Fletcher back on the track. Out of room. Out of here. Back come the Guardians on one swing of the bat by both.
Back on the track. Out of here. Back on the track. What did he say again? Back on. He tried to rhyme it.
Back come the Guardians on one swing of the
back on the track.
Center field deep. Fletcher back on the track. Out of room.
Fletcher back
on the track. Out of room. Out of here. Man, there you go. Well, the White Sox just found out last season that outfielders are a position in baseball.
Wow.
So, yeah, boy, I'll tell you what. You think you have a hard time being a Cleveland Guardians fan.
What were they doing before
or
that?
have over the years. You try being a Chicago White Sox fan. What's that?
I said, what were they doing before that? Using independent fielders?
And line drive Peters. Yes, they had. That's right. They were out there. So your Guardians over the White Sox and your Cavaliers win last night as well. That was 110-98 over the Grizzlies here at home as they go into the last 2 games of the regular season. Neither team playing tonight. You'll have to leave the Cleveland sports to your Cleveland Monsters who are playing tonight. Don't forget about the Monsters. Every time I leave work, there's always, and I've said this before, but it bears repeating, in deference to Cleveland Monsters and their fan base, that's a big draw. A lot of people go to Monsters games.
They're a lot of fun.
They're not the redheaded stepchild of Cleveland sports.
Ryan and Blake go to them all the time. She loves them.
All the time.
I go whenever I can.
I mean, yeah, they go probably, I'd say, at least 5 a season.
That's great. They're a good time, and it's such a fast-paced, fun game. There's always movement. It's just fun.
There is always movement.
There's always
I like
movement.
that. You know, maybe you think baseball's too slow. Of course, that kind of makes you a dimwit, but let's just say that you think baseball's too slow. You go, if only I could see something more fast-paced. Cleveland Monsters.
There's action. There's hitting.
Oh, God.
Violence. We
Get a
love
goon
violence.
out there,
Yeah.
sure. A little blood on the ice. Slamming against the glass.
Uh-huh.
The Laval Rocket are in town. That's a 7 o'clock puck drop tonight at the Romo Fijo. They're coming down all the way from Montreal to play the Cleveland Monsters. You know, Tom Green is Canadian. He'll be in here a little bit later on. I would love to spend our entire 20-plus minute segment talking about nothing but hockey. But unfortunately, that probably won't be the case. That I'll
He's a
spend
nice guy.
Huh?
He's a nice guy. He was the first headliner I worked with that my dad was excited about. That made it like, oh, you're actually doing this.
Oh, opening for Tom Green.
I opened for Tom Green in Toledo. My dad drove out from Cleveland because that was like the first legitimate, to my dad, the first legitimate comedian I had ever worked with.
Now, to you, who was the first legitimate comedian you had opened for?
I mean, all of them. When you're first starting out, everybody's famous. We're like, oh my God, I can't believe this guy can do 45 minutes. That's the craziest thing I've ever seen. You know?
But like famous where people would know who they were, or famous to you because you were a comedian?
Tom Green was, it was early on in my career. It was probably 2013 or 14. I was only a couple years in. And he was probably the biggest name up until that point.
Now, when he's in here, will you tell that story? And then we'll take odds right now on if he pretends to remember.
I think he'll remember me. We've worked together like 3 or 4 times.
Oh, you have?
Yeah. But there's been plenty of other comedians I've worked with 7 or 8 times who don't know who I am.
Steve Byrne comes to mind.
Hey, look at that.
My buddy Steve Byrne, who, for whatever reason, Mary has not burned herself, if you will, onto his brain. And I think he's just playing around with you. I think he's trolling you. I think he's having a bit of fun. You know why, Mary?
Why?
He's a comedian.
Interesting.
He's a funny man. He's a mirth maker, just like you.
Interesting.
A mirth maker. Hey, I've got some bad news, guys, and I know that, listen,
Did
OJ came back to life?
no, OJ's still dead. Listen, good news, bad news. Classic situation. Akebono has died. Of course, longtime frontman for U2. No, Akebono, who is one of the most famous sumo wrestlers in the world. Now, don't sit there and try to tell me that you didn't go through a sumo phase. You guys go through a sumo
Physically.
phase?
No.
Right. Young man still, 54. That's a young man, Mary, 54 years old.
Yo, nobody questioned it but you, all right?
Practically a pup. He was a proud Hawaiian. He was a giant in the field of sumo wrestling. Akebono Notaro made history when he became the first non-Japanese-born sumo wrestler to take the title, to take the sport's highest title. This is a big, big deal, right? He was practically gaijin. He was 54. Now, I can't, again, I don't believe everything I read. You tell me that a sumo wrestler died of heart failure. I'm going to say, this guy probably also made some enemies, too. He was born Chadwick Rowan. That is a switch. You thought you had a wild stage name. I mean, you know, he took on the mantle of the sumo. He was born in Hawaii and moved to Tokyo in the late 80s, and they loved him instantly because he was, you know, he wasn't a native. He was an outsider coming in and doing his thing. He was 6'8", 500 pounds.
My God.
In the prime of his career. Imagine any other aspect of life where you could say, well, in my prime, I was 500 pounds. Only sumo. Could you say that?
Elephants. No, that's not their prime, I guess.
What is the prime of an elephant?
I don't know. They live a long time, I think.
Do they? I know they
What
never
about, like,
forget.
a tiger. How big are tigers? Are they more than 500 pounds?
I mean, they're not
think some
6
might
feet
be.
8
Heavy
inches
is-
tall, though.
Tiger. If it stands
They
up
might
on
be
its
that
back,
long, yeah.
200 to 680 pounds is a male tiger.
But still, what would constitute the animal's prime?
Midlife.
Midlife.
Like
So
if a tiger lives to be 20,
yeah,
probably 10,
10.
8 to 12.
He goes, man, when I was 10, I was killing the game.
You got to do it in tiger years, though.
Oh,
They probably have something
man,
similar
when
to
I was
dog years.
406.
I don't know if it's that.
Oh. The African bush elephant can live to be 70 years old. I was surprised.
will it?
If I'm repeating myself, I apologize. But when we were in Orlando last week, and my wife and my child swam with a dolphin. And they were part of this group. And we were, of course, on the beach there and taking pictures or whatever. And there's a little informational session before you go out there because you got to get the wetsuit and the thing. And then they talk to you. For that guy, lest he leave another message, by the way, the thing is the rest of the wetsuit, maybe a glove or something like that. Anyway, I asked the lady how long dolphins live because I didn't know. For whatever reason, I had it in my head that dolphins didn't live very long. She said they had dolphins there that were 60 years old.
Oh, wow.
She goes, I've talked to people who came
So
here.
they're all gray. They're old.
And wrinkly.
Mm-hmm.
No, actually, they're quite
pretty
smooth.
Yeah.
You feel them, and they feel like a hot dog, right? And that's why I have requested from now on, I will only eat 100% dolphin hot dogs.
Not dolphin free.
No,
you want
dolphin.
hot dogs.
100%. I want them 0% dolphin free.
Alan, you're just ruining nature.
Thank
Do you understand?
Thank you.
Also, everybody that's
doing
ever
my
been in
part.
the ocean has swam with dolphins, sharks, whales. It's all one water.
Yeah, idiot.
Well, they held on to the fins, yeah?
Well, that's different.
So that you get...
that's more intimate than the way I've swam with dolphins and whales.
yeah, I don't know that
We were
I've,
just in the same body of water for a while.
Oh, I see. If they were halfway around the world, you would have considered that you had swam with dolphins.
Right.
I
It's in
see.
the same ocean.
But that's not with.
Amongst.
Not even amongst. Halfway
with.
around the world?
It's with.
It's the
It's
same,
the same body of
ocean.
water.
With?
It's the same body of water. How is it not with?
Interesting.
And all their poop and stuff, too.
Okay. So
Would you
are we living with Irish people right now in Dublin?
No, that's not the same continent.
Separated. Yeah.
Separated. Oh, you mean because it's a body of water?
Right.
All the oceans connect at some point.
Okay. All right. I guess I think of with as maybe a bit more proximity based. Might be onto something there.
Would you like to know other animals that are around?
I mean, we all
7
live with each
feet?
other on Earth, so it's like it's all about perspective.
I'll tell you what, Bill. If only we could get our friends and enemies to come together and have that perspective, right? We're all trying to live here together.
Right.
We're all part of this one crazy space marble. What are you talking about, animals? What?
I was going to say, it doesn't have to be a tiger. Brown bears weigh 500 pounds and can be up to 10 feet tall on their hind legs.
You know, this guy's a human, right? I was just pointing out that.
Mooses?
Yeah, I should have clarified.
Horses?
Right, right. Mm-hmm.
Camels? Buffalo?
Yeah.
I'm saying if you need a reference for how big this guy was.
Really big.
A brown bear on his hind legs.
Yeah. 6'8", 500 pounds. Yeah.
That's a brown bear.
Yeah. Also, they said this guy, very similar to brown bear now that you mention it, they also said if you left any food in any tree near this guy, immediately eaten.
Digging through garbage cans.
Yeah, going at it. Anyway, he died at 54 from heart failure because how can you keep that massive frame going for that long? You really are probably, only as good as your sumo career. But Akebono, who was a big, big deal, he was the first non-Japanese native to reach the top of the sumo game. He has passed away. Hey, if you want to leave us messages, there's no shortage of ways to do it. You can leave them on the After Hours line. You can drop them on the iHeartRadio app. Got the little talkback button there as well.
Hey, Alan. You were talking about the whole Sam Kinison thing and saying that he had a whole Schwarzenegger-Stallone thing going with Andrew Dice Clay. I'm not really familiar with what you're talking about as far as the whole Arnold Schwarzenegger thing goes. Would you happen to have any audio of Sylvester Stallone explaining that? I was just curious. Shot in the dark. All right, love you. Bye.
I don't know if I
According
have.
to inside sources.
I don't know
We
if
got
I.
it.
I don't know if I have any audio from.
Inside Sources.
No,
Perez
we're-
Bilton making a surprise Thursday appearance. We do have, this is uncovered audio of Sylvester Stallone talking about his rivalry with Arnold Schwarzenegger when they were making movies, action movies in the 80s. Alan, go ahead and play that.
Let me see if I can find it here. Oh, there it is.
We just really disliked each other a lot. He'd be fighting and I'd be fighting. He had this big body, and we weren't friends. I said, hey, the guy is ugly. And,
There you have
I think
it.
that's the only clip I have.
There you have it. Yeah.
Right.
No, here's another one.
Inside Sources.
What's that?
Here's
You have another
one.
clip?
Yeah, here's
Oh.
another one where Sylvester Stallone talks about the rivalry and also talks about how much he likes orange push-ups and fudgicles.
Oh, all those. Oh, okay.
Fudgicles.
Fudgicles, Mary. Just go play along, all right?
Fudgicles.
Fudgicles.
You never heard them called fudgicles?
What?
Fudgicles.
It's a little not to Millhouse.
Let me see if I can find the clip here. Oh, there it is.
one time it was really hot outside, and I was like, I really go for something cold. And I go, hey, you got any orange push-ups? The guy goes, no. I go, what about fudgicles?
See?
He said it, Mary.
Yeah, he said it.
Did you hear
and
it?
he also was talking about Arnold Schwarzenegger, remember?
Bill was.
And he said he didn't like him either.
Oh God. He was just quoting Sylvester Stallone when he said fudgicles.
Yeah. That
wasn't a Bill Squire thing. That was a Sly Stallone thing.
Well, it's not a Simpsons thing, really.
Inside Sources.
And here's another clip of
Oh God.
Sylvester Stallone singing the praises of one recently deceased O.J. Simpson as not just a great athlete, but a pretty accomplished comedic actor.
If I can find that. What's that one? Is that one under Sly or OJ?
Sly J.
Sly J is. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
So I was doing press for Rambo and O.J. Simpson in this cop movie. It's a comedy and everything, and I thought it was pretty good, but it turns out he murdered people, so I don't know what to think. I liked him, but he killed people.
Wow, that one kind of. I didn't like that one.
Pretty on the nose.
That one. that one trailed off there a bit.
Inside Sources.
Okay,
Mary,
well,
do you know of any clips of
no, she doesn't.
don't.
No,
I don't,
there's no
actually.
fudgicles. There's no
No fudgicles.
Sly and OJ. Oh, see, that's Hollywood, man. Everybody knows everybody, right? Sly Stallone, he and Arnie, of course, as older men, they're very, very good friends now. But back then, you had to be competitive.
You don't know him.
I'm sorry?
Call him Arnie?
Well, but they call each other that.
Do they?
Yeah.
You have that on good authority? You
Well,
mean
I mean, I've
audio?
seen that in things that they've, call it.
I call him Arnie.
Well,
There it
make
is,
sure-
okay.
Gotta make sure the camera's not. We don't want, we
I'm
don't want
sorry?
people to know.
What?
Make sure
audio.
the
What?
Yeah. Because you having me
you don't want-
talking when you play that audio.
Oh,
so
you
it
don't
looked
want
like
them
you
to
were
see me
saying
playing
it.
the audio.
Yeah,
I
right.
understand.
Here's the fudgicles. I just emailed it to you.
Oh.
No, I know the reference. but
I
I've never
didn't.
heard
I
a
didn't get the
person-
Millhouse fudgicles, I guess.
I've never heard a human person that wasn't, 7 say that.
All right.
It's a funny thing to call them. It's funnier than
Fudgicles.
yeah.
Aw, I don't feel them. You said there'd be fudgicles, Bart. Where's the fudgicles? First, it's fudge sickle, and I know they're up here. I just need a better foothold.
And then he
All right.
finds Homer's gun.
Mm-hmm. In the vegetable crisper.
Yeah.
Where are the fudgicles?
Well, he was using the vegetable crisper as a foothold so he could get up into the freezer, and then he finds the gun in there, and Homer's like, I put it in a safe place. How was I supposed to know the boy's gonna look in the vegetable crisper?
Mm-hmm. Did you get all that, Mary?
Got it.
Okay, good.
Great episode.
Anyway, R.I.P. to Akebono, who made literally a spectacle of himself there in the Japanese sumo game. I got to take a break. I'll have those Tom Segura tickets for you later on. People hitting me up wanting to go. He's doing the Romo Fijo end of September. Want to go to that 21 Pilots show? Get you set up for that. Those two shows are 2 nights apart, in fact. And as I said, Tom Green's going to join us in here a little bit later on, so we'll catch up with him. 35192, and text me for anything else, or you can watch live if you like at AlanCoxShow.com.
The Alan Cox Show on 100.7 W.